Hey guys, okay, so some new toys have come out. 4.26 is out, and Metahuman's on its way. And finally, Daz 3D came up with their plug-in bridge for 2. Or 4.26, and I thought I'd take it for a test drive, take a look at it. Some new goodies in obviously in 4.26 that improves the situation. Also, I wanted to see if they made any improvements to the bridge, and I was quite surprised. And to kind of set things up here, everything's vanilla except for a few details that I'll point out when I get there. But I figured, hey, it'd be a good idea to do a little bit of show and tell. So the setup here is that the characters that I brought into a version, a project based on 4.26 were done vanilla from directly from Daz Studio. And is a combination of different characters. Genesis 3, Genesis 8, Genesis 8.1, etc., etc. And it was quite impressive, some of the feature enhancements to 8.1, which is pretty on par with the hype, as far as I'm concerned, as to the available features included in part of the Metahuman project. Now, to base the comparison on, if you have Metahuman, I'm using I'm using a scene that they had set up for turntable characters, I guess, which is the stock when you fire it up. This is what you get with the characters already in place, and they, have a little matinee kind of thing going on, or a sequencer kind of thing going on, interaction, and it is quite impressive. But I wanted to do a kind of apples and oranges type of comparison to see how, based on a really good lighting setup that's was used for Metahuman, and come and compare the differences between the different characters that I import and see what has improved. Now it's been my experience, anyways, as the engine has a bump, it also bumps in features and of course quality. So 4.26 is a substantial bump as to atmospherics and lighting behavior and etc. So that's what really makes the Human or the Metahuman stuff kind of pop out, is the ability of the engine. And as I kind of been harping on lately, it's not the geometry that makes a difference, it's the paint job. So, of course, Genesis never really had a really good history of quality, shall we say, but has steadily improved over time, that it's becoming really a solution for anybody who needs a framework to base their characters on. And I'll point out some of the things that I thought greatly improved. Now, at a distance, this looks pretty good. The skin texture is pretty good. The cloth for the shirt looks good, and the jeans are pretty good. The shoes are pretty good, and the hair looks really good. They finally kind of nailed it, that you can actually export the character with a hair on it, and it looks half decent in Unreal 4. If you wanted to me, this would be satisfactory for any game type character. If I was looking for to jump the Uncanny Valley, of course, it would need to be substantially more improved. But this has the performance of being geometry based, so we don't have that inherent performance loss based on groom. My poor little 6-year-old computer can't even move without stuttering, but definitely can in using Genesis 3 and card-based hairs, which is still going to probably be a preference for video games for a long time to come. I would like to suggest here that the Metahumans are so good that it's going to basically raise your art styling requirements, because it would be kind of silly placing a Metahuman in a Fortnite type of environment. So there's This is a pickup truck that went in for the kind of job that we need it to do, versus a Ferrari in the form of Metahuman that outperforms what we really need. If we have to kind of help our buddy on the weekend move, we need a beat up old pickup truck, not some $250,000 to $2 million car or whatever they're going for nowadays. Okay, so the hair has hugely improved from 4.25. The cloth material is substantially improved. This is a rather old character, so I'm assuming that anything 8.1 and above is going to be a little bit more PBR in nature. Also, I might have selected the wrong type of material. This could be a Delight type material as opposed to an iRave type PBR material. So, I just kind of tossed things in that I had already had lying around in DAZ 3D, and as I said, I figured, hey, why not do a show and tell? The only thing that's still really off, is not that great, are the eyes. They have really strange issues still at this moment, and there is a solution to this as a problem. Of note, the skin material is pretty darn good. It's not that bad. It's video game acceptable. You want it to be uncanny, though. I would recommend it. I'll point this out as I get to that point. But the thing here is vanilla. Hit the brought in the character, selected it, hit the send to Unreal 4, and in a Metahuman scene, this is what you get. Okay, so let's move on to another one here. Let's see, Legend. Okay, this is my favorite because it is a very, very complex character as to lighting and material behavior. It's full armor kind of setup. Now, metal is, of course, one of those types of materials that it uses more of a profile for the metallic nature of the surface. So if you're making a material, there's a material pin for metal, and that would be either 0 or 1. Now, some people kind of use that to blend in materials, and I'm in favor of that idea. I mean, if it looks good, it is good. So they play around with masks and so forth to try to get a nice little ramping. Once again, vanilla. As I bought it and assemble it, and it's a huge difference between 4.25 as far as recognizing metal. There's definitely a color depth to this that wasn't there before, and you can see a lot of the nice details based on the normal map that's starting to pop out, and it has much more of a brassy look to it. I got a lighting setup here. It's on channel 2, so I can actually bump up the specularity of highlighting lights based on the character being also accepting channel 2 lighting, and a lighting setup that only puts out on channel 2. So once again, the problem with the eyeballs is predominantly noticeable. It just doesn't blend in well, so that is somewhat of an issue, and that looks pretty darn good, I think. All push button stuff. If you have the character in and you get the 4.26 bridge, you can take advantage of the advanced lighting features that are available. So this stuff sort of improves with each version, each iteration. I would expect the bridge for Unreal 5 to be even more superior, and they've worked on the eye situation. Make improvements to the hair. I think the hair itself right at this moment is quite adequate for video game purposes. Studio grade, not so much. But hey, let's consider it for a moment. If you need your Genesis 3 to have photo quality hair, you can always just steal it off the Metahuman, because apparently you'll be able to download various different types of assets like hair, eyes, and so forth, which is kind of stacking up for our way towards something that has greatly improved the situation, shall we say. Okay, you go away. Metal, huge improvement. Okay, let's see what we got here next that I want to show off. Cinderella. Now this is like Genesis 2 stuff, but I was quite impressed with the result. Okay, a Cinderella dress. Okay, and once again, hair has greatly improved. Needs to be lightened up, but it is it's hair designed for Genesis 2, not Genesis 3 or 8 or what have you. This is where things get interesting. In Daz Studio, you can eliminate the eyes, omit the eyes, and then go with the epic eyes. Now there is a version of these eyes available in the the example file. Oh, what is it? Oh man, I hate it when I forget something like that. Some simple. Anyways, it's the project or the kit that has all the examples. Somebody who can type that into the want to pick on me, they can write that in the description field. Okay, so you can make a blueprint, and in the blueprint you can take the eyes from that kit and you can add them into a character component and add it in and attach it to the eye sockets or eye bones. And this is basically the same eyes that are used on the Metahuman, and as you can see, they are very nice as being combined with this. So we'll take a quick look at the blueprint setup for that. Oh, of course we gotta load it in. Okay, go to viewport, compile the situation, and bring it over to the screen here. And of course, I kind of messed up the bar up there, but I won't bother. So there's the two skeletal eyes that have been added, and they are parented to socket is to the right eye and left eye, and by just simply omitting it, we can omit the hair too. So if we want to add different types of hairstyles, that's pretty easy to do using a character blueprint. And then of course you can just simply select the mesh and use animation asset, and then we got the eyes involved into this too as well. So we'll probably have to add we can correct that with a master component, but in this case, let's see, can we fix it this way? Yeah, see, okay, so you can add animation to play onto this, and the eyeballs will go along for the ride. And then of course anything else that you want to add. So if you want to, instead of using this hair, say you want to use a groom, you go up and add component. You add groom where are you? There you are. It's 2 O's, dummy. Okay, so you add the groom component, and then you can add it in to the slot. So this would be like the Metahuman groom that comes with the example file, the example project, and you can add that onto a different character, a Genesis 3 character if you wish. And since we're playing around in the Metahuman project, then of course that's available. So like I say, I wanted to compare apples to oranges. Okay, this is on channel 2, I think, 2 as well. No, not yet. Okay, so we can obviously add a bump to it. Okay. Yeah, let's not deviate too much here. Let's continue on with our show and tell. Okay, so even legacy assets like Genesis 2, hugely improved, just through. Now, whether it's obvious that the bridge understands the difference between materials, metal, what is eye, what is hair, kind of understands that. And of course, within the project setting, there's options for you to point to your own custom skins and textures. So the same idea that we can harvest the eyes from Metahuman, we can, you can also do the same thing with the skin textures. So giving, as I say, giving a box of beautiful paint job is what makes it look like a crate. So you can score the Metahuman material and apply it to your Genesis 3 model and just change the image the image files that are contained within it. It's still controlled by image files, so that's a good thing. So that means you can recycle the skin material onto any character that you wish. And since each of the within the model range, all the UV mapping's the same, it's not too difficult to mix and match things up a bit. Okay, gone away. Which one next do I want to show and tell? Oh, Bone Crusher. Okay, this is a combination of skin and metal. Are we broken here? Oh, okay. It had to redraw the thumbnail. Okay, a new feature annoyance, we'll call it. Okay, here's Bone Crusher. I like models with a unique, interesting detail to it, and Bone Crusher is certainly interesting. Once again, vanilla, straight out of Daz Studio, using the bridge into Unreal 4.26, and this is the result you should expect from this character. No muss with messing around with materials. It's PBR, definitely PBR in nature. I did use an IRA material on this, I believe. You can see that the skin detailing is pretty good. Still needs work. But I think for a video game, it's in the ballpark, and anything beyond this, it's in your hands kind of deal where, as I mentioned, you can score the materials that you need off of something else. In particular, the annoying little problem that the eye seems to be persistent with. Okay, so, but that looks like it was made by a pro. Actually, it was made by a pro. I assume, because this is not your everyday type of character that would be made in, made in Blender or what have you. This has got some excellent materials. The base instant type materials, as I mentioned, understand the type of material requirement that based on its import. It knows, hey, this is a metallic type of surface. It's not just a leathery type of surface. So if we look a little closer to it, you can see the scratch details and whatever. It would be nice if the detailing was a little bit more high resolution, but it's got to be used for a video game character too as well, and we can always add in subdivisions in the material if we want more details out of it. Okay, let's see what we else we got here. Okay, basic wear tank top. No, okay, that was a whoopsie. Okay, here's armor. So we're going to look at metal again. Vanilla import, straight from Daz Studio. We're looking at the metal detail. We got a little dirt and grime, and the one thing I like about Daz or Genesis-based type of models is they always have fine-tuned detailing done as well. You get your money's worth, that's for sure. So something like this was about, I don't know, 30 bucks, maybe 20 bucks. I don't know. I probably got it on sale. I'm cheap that way. Of course, the habitual eye problem, which I pointed out how you can solve that. They got the big, huge, cartoony blue eyes. We can probably tweak. You could tweak out to your heart's content. That's the thing. Your basic setup as far as armor goes. Okay, let's take a look at something else here. Okay, we did Bone Crusher. Okay, we did Cinderella. Genesis 350. Okay, this is the base. This is the Genesis 8.1 base with the ever popular outerwear, leisure wear, and the basic hairstyling that comes free with the bump to .15. Was it 4.15? Or boy, I can't even remember versions numberings anymore. Okay, so really nice detailing as far as the skinning texture goes. It could be, once again, be improved. I expect it to improve to allow for better subsurface scattering. I don't know if that's a side benefit of the iRay material. As I say, I just dragged and dropped it into the scene. I wanted to do just a, if Joe Average, who had no experience at all, was pulling something from Daz Studio into Unreal 4, this is what you would get. The one, and the hair is awesome. It always was. It was still a problem up to 4.25, but now I think it's refined enough that it certainly it is actually better than some video game hair that I've seen. Not mentioning any names, of course, but we know that some of these characters, they just don't have even this level of quality as far as hair goes, as well as cloth. I mean, cloth needs some more, obviously more improvement. I think this is an issue with normal maps, not with the directly with the texture or how it's being rendered in the game. I did make a blueprint. As you noticed, I had punched out the eyes to bring in our character here, and so we can take a closer look, and you can see how much more that adds to it over and above the normal map. So you're not stuck, there's mix and match that can be made, but from a base standpoint, huge improvement in 4.26. I would say Metahuman needs to watch itself, because, looking in depth is still something I need to do as far as 8.1 does, and its requirements, but there is some interesting idea about facial controls. I'm kind of suspecting that the more targets that are required to do that comes with the kit. So 8.1 is as a framework building character is definitely a huge step forward, and I would say the next logical step up from the epic rig versus having something that is uncanny in nature and probably would break your art styling altogether. What else do I have here? I had one more. I just had like a plain ordinary. Did I actually send it over? No, I guess not. I think that's about it then. Okay, that's it. Okay, so not much more to show off here. Armor, basic wear top, Bone Crusher, Cinderella, Genesis 8.1, Legend, Super Mike. So we had a combination Genesis 2, 3, 8, and 8.1. See the difference, and the improvement as to certainly to the benefit of 4.26. But also, I'm assuming an ongoing improvement of the DAZ 3D / Genesis to Unreal 4 bridge, and certainly it does the job that it needs to do. Okay, I still plan on doing a kind of in-depth thing, because on the surface, the bridge and Genesis is just the tip of the iceberg of what's actually under the hood, as far as things like joint control morphers. You have the ability in the project files. There's a DAZ section in there where you can target your own custom textures and materials, I should say. So if you say, for example, take a Metahuman material and you massage it so it works with a Genesis 8 model, 8.1 model, then you're going to probably get pretty darn close to the same results as a Metahuman anyways. But then, of course, you're going to start to incur the performance loss that if you download the example. I don't think anybody with a mainstream gaming type of computer that doesn't cost an arm and a leg is going to be able to take advantage of. And if you want to see what I mean, you can just go over to Valve and look at their hardware survey. And none of the top-end cards are really migrating into the average desktop computer. We're still back in the 10 series as far as low-end limits goes. So just pointing it out, the improvements. Me personally, I'm sticking with the horse I rode in on, and if you want to start doing Metahuman stuff, then hey, that's fair enough. Okay, bye.